If you want the gills, we got the skills right here at 302 Fishing. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel here. If you're brand new or you've still been hanging around and you haven't already done so, smash that subscribe button, click that notification bell, that way you're informed of all of our future episodes, and of course drop a comment below. Guys, as I tell you each and every week, as it keeps getting further and further into winter here, it's going to get more difficult to catch fish. Bass fishing right now, pretty much non-existent right now. The weekend before, which was the one you saw me where I said I was under the weather, which I was, I at least fished one of those days with live bait, which was minnows. No fish at all. The week before, 2 days in a row fishing with minnows. I didn't catch any fish at all. No bass, nothing touched those live baits. I fished for 8 and 9 hours a piece on each one of those days. Probably hit the reason why I got sick. But anyway, I'm better right now, but we are definitely going to be slowing it down. We're going to get very rudimentary with our bait right now. And all it is, guys, is just going out to Walmart, picking up some worms, and we are just going to try to catch the good old bluegill and as well crappie if there are any here. We, for the past 3 days, have been dealing with just above and just below freezing weather. And of course, you know, when it gets cold out at that temperature, water starts to freeze, and I'm sure you can see the thin veil of ice that's right along this mill pond that we're on. And I did peruse around to a couple ponds in this area, and they are completely frozen over. But if you listen real close, we have moving water, which is over here. That's the waterfall we're going to fish on, and hopefully, if we're lucky, we're going to catch some fish over in that moving water, because there's no ice to be had there, because obviously the water's moving to keep the ice from freezing on top of the water here. But we're going to jig first, and then if that doesn't work, we're going to throw that jig with a bobber on the line right there, and then we're just going to jig the bobber and put that bait up into the water column and see if they're suspending. But it's going to be proving pretty hard to catch some fish right now because of this temperature right now. You know, I'm wearing a hoodie. Thankfully this wind's not there, but it's quite chilly. I mean, I'm feeling it right in my fingers. So give me a couple seconds. Let's get everything all hooked up, and hopefully if we're lucky, guys, we get some fish on. We're at the popular part of this mill pond that people like to come to. Again, obviously we've got the spillway that's right here. People fish along both these banks right here, and of course on either side of the spillway bridge itself, but most people tend to congregate right here. Obviously you can see there's no grass here, so everybody and their mother, including children, come right here to this point, because that's usually where these bluegill and these sunnies like to hang at. So that's where we're going to concentrate our efforts at right now with these worms that we have below. I watched 2 or 3 people sit here, couldn't even last maybe 15, 20 minutes. I guess it got too cold for them and they rolled out. So I'm gonna be that one insane maniac that's gonna sit out here in this raw, nasty, cold weather. I mean, my fingers literally feel like cinder blocks right now. They're frozen solid. But we're gonna try to make this episode happen. I do wanna drop a link down below in the description field. I bumped into a brand new channel here in Delaware. The gentleman's name is TJ, and his channel's called OffTheReel. He's got a decent amount of subscribers here, so I'm going to give him his shout out here on my channel and see if people try to go ahead and jump onto his channel and check his content out, man. I'm always about sharing things right here in this state here, because again, we all, you know, are all in a small area here, but we've got to try to work with each other and try to help build content and keep our state relevant here when it comes to fishing. Obviously, we have our #1 guy, FirstStateFishing. We'll give him his shout, man. He's just killing it out there. But you do have other YouTubers that are out here that do have great looking channels that you could check out. So again, check out his link, see what's up there, guys. And if you're compelled enough, go ahead and click and subscribe on him too as well, and give him a thumbs up on any of his videos that you like. I'm basically gonna be treating this bait just like a Ned rig. Gonna get a couple bounces, and I'm just gonna let that bait sit still for a couple seconds, because again, these fish are gonna be very, very slow, and they're gonna be limited on their movements. And they wanna make sure that whatever they're going after is gonna be worth their effort. We need some fish on the end of the line here. Just got to find out where they're at. More than likely, they're going to be schooling all together to try to keep the warmth going. Looks like we might have a fish on right here, guys. Look, there we go, fish on. I just let it sit there. But what do we got? All right, we are not skunked. We have a perch. All right, how about that? That's the first time I've caught a perch out of this water right here. All right. So I guess the deal is to let it sit on the bottom of the water. We'll show that off to you in a couple seconds. Let me lip them up here real quick. All right. Nice little white perch. But again, that's how slow it is right now. I literally let that bait just sit there, and this thing just picked it up and rolled with it. But we are not skunked. That's a good thing. Let's get that fish on its way. Boom. Sweet. All right. So let's just do exactly what we just did right there. I'll explain to you what I'm using here to try to catch fish. Equipment wise, I'll throw that out there real quick and just let it sit there. Nothing elaborate here. Again, I've got a micro rod and reel here. I have a ugly stick, which I've had for quite some time right now. This is a 4'8". So the action is ultra light, and again, it's going to handle up to 2 to 6 pound line. I have 4 pound test on here. It's what I normally use in case I hit one of those big old bass that might want to hit the line in the middle of winter. You never know. It does happen. You've seen Oakster do it last year. Caught a 5 pounder on a similar type setup. We have a Sienna 500 FD. Again, just basic Walmart reels that you can get out of there for a couple bucks, and you have a little bit of fun right here. Let's let that bait sit there again. That was pretty interesting. So as we're standing here and you know, letting time pass by, you can see everything is dying off. You can see all the leaves that are just scattered about, but if you notice in the water, the leaves are there as well. As I mentioned to you probably a couple times as the season is going to be coming through here into winter, that all of these leaves will be out in the water settling down onto the bottom. They're going to decompose on the bottom, and obviously with decomposition it creates heat, and that heat sits down on the bottom in the winter. That thermocline that those fish like to hang in to stay warm during the winter. That's why we're going to fish on the bottom first to see if they're just hanging there and just feeding off the bottom. And again, if that doesn't work, then we'll pick up the bait off of the bottom, maybe about that much off there, and just have that bobber out and just pop it around and just let the bait just do a nice little pendulum thing, and hopefully they get that in their eye and they key off that and they go after that bait. We do have a couple other people trying to brave it out here right now. They got their little... I just got a white perch in there, believe it or not.
Okay.
That's the first time I ever caught one of those in here.
Really?
Yeah.
The yellow perch are in here pretty good too.
Yeah, I never caught a yellow perch yet. Yeah, he had a long bobber on there, but I was going to go with a round bobber, which is usually pretty easy to use jigging wise in this kind of weather right here, as opposed to those elongated ones. I have one in my pocket right now. I'll show you in a second here. This is what I have right here, but obviously it's a little bit easier to come through the water that way, make that bait bounce. And the pat, oh, I think that was the bottom. Got me all excited for a second. But I think I've seen this gentleman before a couple times over in this area. He does come out here with his buddy, I think it is. And they love to come out and panfish. I might downsize my hook a little bit. Again, the goal is to try to stay away from the little ones. Try to get some decent sized fish for you guys to see. Gotta keep flipping this rod from hand to hand, man. It's chilly. This water's got the weird look on it. Like I said, it is freezing. Right now it's 32 degrees, and you can kind of see, I mean, it doesn't look like the water's freezing right now, but you can just tell how the water's acting. Like it's almost right on the precipice of starting to freeze, and I'm sure within about an hour or two, once things start cooling down a little bit more, it will freeze over and get that little thin layer of ice, because this part does freeze every once in a while. Back for round two at the same location we were at a few days ago. If you remember, it was 32 degrees. The mill pond was frozen up top, and this was flowing pretty well. It's not frozen up there in the mill pond. The floodgates are closed right now, and it's much warmer, 62 degrees on Christmas Eve.
So we're gonna come down here at the point. We're gonna try to see if these fish are somewhat moving around right now. I'm not holding any high hopes on it because again, I'm sure that water's still cold. But we've got to do something. As I told you, Delaware fishing is very, very hard in the month of December and some parts of January, but fish can be caught. The bass have not been plentiful right now, so we got to stick with the panfish right now. So give me a moment. Let me get a worm on here, start jigging around, and let's see if we can try to get something going here. All right, our guys are still alive here. They're still crawling around, but we're going to pinch off a piece or two. The jig is not very big. Again, we're dealing with bluegills and we're dealing with crappie. And of course, you saw that white perch earlier in the episode, and it was a few days ago. So I want to make sure the bait fits in their mouth, or the hook that is, so we can get a nice little hook set. But we'll get this little bad boy all hooked up. I can't use a bobber because I forgot them at the house, so we're relegated to jigging right now. Hopefully it won't take long for these fish to bang up on this bait. It took almost an hour and a half to get that white perch we had the last time. There we go. There we go, fish on. All right. That didn't take long. Oh, look. I have not caught one of these in years. Check it out. All right, guys. It's not a giant, but it's a fish that's not seen too prevalently around here unless you're hunting for them. But we got ourselves a yellow perch. How about that? Nice. There's some big ones in here. There's pounders and 2-pounders in this mill pond, but they're up above. But you got to fish them at the right time of the year. But how awesome is that? That took us 10 minutes to get that first fish. But thank you, Mr. Perch. I appreciate you. And she's gone. Boom. Nice job getting that perch right there. I don't know if you can notice in the background over here that we have an overcast day, but I'm sure you can see on my hands there's sunlight coming on right now. We had a brief little sprinkle storm that came through and dropped some droplets on us. Hopefully that might help us out a little bit, this change in weather. We have, again, some kind of clearing, but not all kinds of clearing, because if you turn around the other way, we still have the overcast day. So maybe that might help us out in getting some fish. Clearly we got one right here within 10 minutes of putting our line in the water. But let's keep it going and see if we can try to get something else. But that's 2 species we got, a white perch and a yellow perch. And I'm just jerking it a little bit and just letting it sit on the bottom. Let the bait do its work. In this portion right here, there are multiple species. Obviously, we just saw a white perch, a yellow perch. There are carp in here, believe it or not. There's bass, occasional pickerel come down in here, and you do have crappie. And of course, you got all your minnows all along the shoreline here. I barely felt that perch hit though, but he picked the line up and he started moving with it, so I had to strike. Didn't have to do much to get him. Now the good thing about white perch and yellow perch, they do like cold water. So I'm not surprised that we got those 2 species to hit on that bait right there. The crappie, they're reasonably cold weather fish. But you got to really look for those fish because, again, they school up and they sit by structure, and there's not really much structure around here, but they are around here somewhere. We just got to find out where they're bundled up at. We'll spend a couple minutes right here. We'll try to get one more fish, and I want to try to at least go over by the fall area. I can't go completely near the fall area because there's a lot of rocks right there, but somewhat near it, and see if those crappie might be hanging around there by where the waterfall would normally be off the spillway. They tend to like the moving water around here. We got something nibbling on the end here. Come on. Just picking it up and dropping it. There we go. Fish on, I think. Nope, he let it go. It's probably a small bluegill. Whoops, hit the camera there. They about almost got it off the hook though. But right over here to the left, that's where I'm gonna get my taps at. There we go, fish on. All right, little one. What do we got? All right, another bluegill. You can see how small their mouths are, because that's why I had to go down to a little smaller hook than I had the last time. But it's real tiny, this hook, so it fits into that tiny little mouth that they got. But there you go. She's gone. Looks like a lump of snot, but it's sustenance for these little guys out here. But as soon as I cast out in this area, man, I'm getting immediately smacked up on by a bunch of bluegills. So if I do get another one right here, I'm going to go ahead and go to my left-hand side and go up towards the spillway right there and see if there's crappie are hanging around up there. Come on. There we go. All right, little one. All right. Look at how yellow this one is, man. Pretty cool colors on this Sunny. Look at how deep yellow this one is. Isn't that crazy how these colors shine off these fish? All right. Let's go ahead and walk up here towards the spillway, see if we can find some crappie over there. Now that we know where the bluegill are at. So I'm happy right now. It's actually a solid day of fishing right now so far. Again, not big bass, which is what I was wanting to have during this time of the year, but you got to make do with what you have going on. Weather plays a key factor in your fishing, and it has not been constant. It's been all over the place. These fish don't know what the heck to do with themselves. But at least we're getting some bites. That's all that matters right now. Kind of doing a slow roll on the bottom. The fish is tagging it. I want to give him a reason to snag it and roll with it. There we go, fish on. The hell? Oh, look, another yellow perch. 2 perched in one day. Are you serious? How cool is that? Look at that cool fin, guys. I love it when they flare up like that. It looks so prehistoric. All right, like I said, I've not caught yellow perch in many years, so this is a treat for me right here to catch these little guys. And she's gone. All right. Sometimes the smallest of fish will get you excited, especially if it's been a while since you had something on the end of your line. Oh man, that was a nice tug. Man, this little bugger's yanking away. All right, I'm gonna change my little niblet off of here and put another fresh piece of bait on. I mentioned to you earlier that we've had, again, extremes in temperature. You see the 40-degree difference between today and the previous day that we fished 3 or 4 days ago. And then tomorrow's going to be 15 degrees difference. It's going to drop from about 65 down to 50 degrees. And then the day after that, it's going to be down to 34 degrees. So you can pretty much understand how confused these fish must be with all these radical temperature changes, and why we're not able to consistently get fish on the end of our lines here in Delaware. But it is the conditions we live under, and we have to fight through it. But let's get back out there again and keep messing around with our little guys. Again, fighting through all these bluegills for that 4th species. All right, I'm gonna take a 10-foot step over to the left and get a little bit riskier in my fishing here. Try to go near these rocks. Again, looking for that crappie. Just got to be careful. Can't get too close in here because I know there's some trees that are down in there, and it doesn't take much for that little hook to get caught up in all those bushes. Fish on. All right. What do we got? A little one. Oh, look, another perch, guys. It's Perch City today. All right. Oh, gotta grab our little guy here. Again, all about the same size here. Wouldn't it be cool if we caught one bigger than this in this body of water right here? But check out those cool fins, as I mentioned earlier, man. I love it. I can't believe we caught 3 perch in one day. These perch are getting triggered on the fact that I'm throwing it out there. When I feel the bite, I'm just slowly reeling it, and it's triggering them to go ahead and smack up on that worm there. Oh, there's another bite right there. Another bluegill. Like roaches in here. Come on, crappie. I'm sure if we had a bobber, we probably would have some success with the crappie because we could put it up in that water column, but I don't have one. So that's probably half the reason why we haven't got one on the end of the line right here. But we'll keep trudging on. I'm happy with what's going on right now. See the fish jumping out over here, guys? Look at them. Just bebopping around, man. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the other side over here. I mean, that fish is, look. I've noticed down on this end here and over here on the other opposite bank here, there are fish jumping all over the place. That could mean that there's white perch around, bouncing around like we caught earlier in the episode here. Come on, take it. Fish on. It's a fighter. It's a fighter. It's a fighter. All right, another yellow perch, bigger than the ones that I've had before. All right. There you go. Oh, my goodness gracious, guys. Grab onto this guy before he falls into the water. I'm having a Perch Palooza today. Let me clean him off a little bit. That's 4 perch today. How about that? That's absolutely amazing. I guess just a little bit of temperature change gets these guys up and lively. But there you go. Come on, perch. Oh, he's there. He's alive. He's still there. Let's get him out of the dirt. Send him off proper here. What is he doing? See him right there? There he goes. All right, guys. What the heck? But again, I've never caught a perch over a pound. The Oakster has. There are 1 and 2 pounders up in the spillway up in here, but you got to catch them at the right time of the year. But hey, 4 in one day after not catching any for multiple years, please. I don't care what size they are. It's a different species than we're normally accustomed to here. But we'll try to catch one more fish from this side, and then we'll hop over to the other side. There you go, fish on. What do we got? He's going all the way to the other side here. A little bluegill. Excuse me, Sonny. All right, so let's switch over to the other bank. See if we can have the same success and we don't have to cast as far. I'm gonna probably go for that open patch. It's right over here where the building's at, where my rod's pointing at, because this is nothing but craziness here, and I know if I sit on this perch right here, I'm gonna get caught in the rocks right here, and that's not what I wanna do. But I think the fish are all along that bank right there, because I've seen them jumping multiply within the past 15 minutes or so. There we go, fish on. That's a nice one. That's a nice one, whatever it is. We got a nice fish on, guys. Oh man, what is this? What is this? What is this on the end of the line besides the Sunny? Looks like we caught a can. How about that, guys? It's an old rusted out can with a bluegill on it. It's an old Budweiser can. Look at this. It's just about rusted out. I thought we had a big one, but it's just a little old Sunny in here. Had me excited for a minute. All right, a couple more casts and we'll shift over down towards the corner of that spillway there. Tired of fighting these sticks and everything. I kind of figured I was going to be dealing with that with all this wind and everything. Fish. What do we got? Oh man, another yellow perch. How about that? Look at the colors on this perch, guys. Wow, this is the biggest one all day today. I am having a field day with the perch. Are you kidding me? Look at the beautiful orange colors in those fins, guys. Wow-wee. This is an excellent day for perch. Wow. Look here, guys. Look at how orange those fins are. Isn't that amazing? Real pretty. All right. And she's gone. That was an exciting episode. A tale of 2 days. A freezing day and a super warm day. One fish on one day, multiple fish on the next, in the middle of winter. But that 62-degree day somehow triggered all of those perch to bite up on that simple little bait, the green worm. Again, I went rudimentary, as I mentioned to you at the beginning of the intro, to try to get fish on the end of the line because of the time of season, and boy, did it pay off. Usually here in Delaware, if you're catching one perch every God knows when, you're doing pretty good. But when you're getting multiple perch in a few hours in one location, that's a freak of nature here in the state. But I'll take it any day, man. Those are great looking perch. I had fun and enjoyed it, even if it's not donkeys, guys. I don't care. Fish are fish. If they're tugging on a slow day, you take what you can get. So that's what I did. I took it. But I hope you enjoyed that video right there. I thought it was a great one for the way it turned out, because it could have been worse, man. It could have been just one fish all day long.
over 2 episodes, but it didn't turn out that way. But guys, like, subscribe, push that notification bell, share this video out to all your friends. Hopefully you guys are having a great day fishing and staying a little bit warmer than we are here in Delaware, because it's going to get cold in the next couple days. And as always, fish on.